Hey, Hardman Canada, how do we say I'm driving a car in French?
Goro, in French we say j'ai drivé la caresse.
If you lie to me, someone will die.
I'm so bored that my head can reflect light. Because of that, I received a job offer to work at a lighthouse. Hello, my name is Hardman Canada and I can speak with my telepathic powers thanks to my mustache. Today I will show you the hardest RPG boss in history. I played hundreds of RPG games in my life across many video game generations. It is one of my favorite video game genre. This is a small portion of RPG game that I played in my life. RPG is a short term for role-playing game. In general, in an RPG video game, you control one or many characters who go through an adventure to get stronger by leveling up thanks to the experience they learn in battle. In general, battles in RPG games demand strategy because battles have rules to follow. In a traditional RPG game, each character waits for their turn to do an action and the fastest character will act first. Each fight in an RPG game is comparable to a chess match where strategy is important to beat opponents who are stronger than you. It's important to know that depending on the game, some of these aspects will be different. The hardest RPG final boss in history comes from the 6th generation console game. The game is called Evolution, a game that came out in 1999, but I must first specify a very important piece of information. I'm talking about the final boss and not the secret final boss. A secret final boss is an optional boss that you face after beating the main storyline for the ultimate challenge. For example, Overlord Ball in this Gaia series, Red in Pokemon series, Apollo Flame in Mega Man Star Force series, and Gabriel Celeste in Star Ocean series. Most secret final bosses are insane maniacs that you wouldn't want to meet in real life. I'm talking about the final boss and not the secret final boss. I repeat, I'm talking about the final boss, not the secret final boss. Ladies and gentlemen, I will show you the hardest boss in RPG history, the Patrol General Military Imperial Chief Prince Eugene. This guy is your worst nightmare. He traumatized many kids for life, and I'm bored because of him. Let's watch his epic intro. I will explain you why he is so difficult. He fights with non-elemental attack and fire elemental attack that are very strong. He can kill a character with only 2 attacks. His attack have a chance to poison you. When you are poisoned, you will lose HP each turn, but the poison of the final boss is the strongest poison in the game. That will make you lose more HP by the next turn until you die. As if he wasn't dangerous enough already, he is so fast that he will always do the first action in the battle, and sometimes he will do 2 actions in a row because of his speed. Sometimes the final boss will kill one character at the beginning of the battle because he's attacked the same character twice. Sometimes he will start the battle with a special attack that hits and poisons all of our that hits and poisons everyone, putting everyone in a critical condition at the start of the battle. Sometimes at the start of the battle he kills everyone except one, and you start the battle in panic mode. To resume the situation, you will always start the battle in a disadvantaged situation. If you use buff magic to improve your character in terms of strength or speed or any other positive effect, the final boss will do a special attack that will cancel any positive effect you use to improve your character. He wants to make sure that you stay in a disadvantaged situation. Furthermore, he is so fast that he will often evade your attack like it's nothing. If you are not scared of him after everything I showed you, you will change your mind once I show you his special ability. Evolution uses a conditional turn battle system where, depending on your action, your next turn can come sooner or later. In the right, you can see in advance the order of who will act next. Normally, the final boss will do one action. After that, Gray, Pepper, and Mag will also do one action each. Watch this carefully. You will witness his special effect. Did you see that? Did you see that? The final boss should have only done one action, but thanks to his special ability, he gained 2 extra turns before the other character, giving him 3 actions in a row. The special ability of the final boss gives him the chance of raising his power and speed when someone dies or gets poisoned. So if a character dies, my mistake. When a character dies, the final boss will get stronger and faster. Because of his speed boost, he can do an extra action. One day he did 4 actions in a row by killing everyone one by one. This is an example of what he did. I will show you an example of how the final boss fight. Me, I will play the role of the final boss, and these 3 games will play the role of the main characters. Bam! You are poisoned. I have an extra turn. Boom! You die. I have an extra turn. Boom. You die. I have an extra turn again. And you're next. Boom. You die. I won. You didn't stand a chance against me. Ha 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 ha. Do you see? This is the kind of monster that you need to face. By the name of my mustache. Very often, against him, you will end up in a situation where you are defenseless. You make one mistake and you will see the game over screen. When you fight against Eugene, you will often end up in a lose-lose situation. For example, you will end up in a vicious circle where you need to constantly heal yourself, and if you take one turn to attack instead of healing, the final boss will kill everyone on the next turn. Another situation is when the final boss kills a character that you just resurrected. He likes toying with you by doing that many times in a row, and because of his special ability, the final boss becomes impossible to beat because he gets stronger and faster as the battle continues until it gets to a point where you cannot keep up with him and you will see a game over screen. And he has so many HP that even if you got prepared for the fight, sooner or later you will run out of items or MP, and you're only delaying your inevitable demise. One day I was fighting him on a Saturday morning, and my little sister went out to go shopping. When she came back in the afternoon, she saw me still fighting the final boss, and she said to me, "Patrick, are you still fighting against him?" And this is what I answered her. "Yes, this deranged maniac has too many HP. I think he is unbeatable." I think I was fighting him for over 4 hours, but he obviously killed me in the end, and he even destroyed my Sega Dreamcast. I will give you more details later. Now I will share with you 4 news about this fight. The best news, the good news, the bad news, and the worst news. Now I will start with the best news. The hero of the group is not available for this fight. There are 5 controllable characters in the game. Each character has a different role in the team to cover each other's weakness. Liner is the healer of the group. She possesses the strongest healing magic in the game, but she will not be available in this fight against the final boss because the final boss neutralized her so that she can't interfere in the final battle. So you are stuck using the other characters with inferior healing magic against one of the most difficult fights in your life. Believe it or not, this is the best news. Now, this is the good news. You have a probability of 98% that the final boss will kill you. Yes, this is the good news. After everything I explained, if you still don't understand that you are screwed, I will illustrate the situation with a game of chess. The black pieces represent the advantage the final boss have, and the white pieces which represent our characters, our advantage. Now, this is what happened when the final boss used his special effect. And this is what happened when the final boss gets mad. This is the physical representation of the situation during the final boss. And I repeat, this is the good news. You have 2% chance to survive. Many players give up the game after reaching the final boss. Now I will share with you the bad news. When his HP is below 25%, he will get mad and fight you seriously and destroy your Sega Dreamcast. If you miraculously survive long enough against him, Eugene will get mad. Do you realize that you guys are screwed? Everything I showed you so far was when he was in a good mood. When he starts fighting seriously, he will change his strategy. He will do a new attack and he will heal himself, and his most powerful special attack is so strong that it can destroy your Sega Dreamcast. I have 3 Sega Dreamcasts because of this deranged maniac. The other 2 Dreamcasts always froze when he did his ultimate move. During the animation of his final attack, the vibration of the controller is so strong that it will create a shock wave that can cause an explosion. By the way, the final attack of the hardest RPG final boss is a giant RPG missile. That's very ironic. Now it's time to show you the worst news. Look at this. The average level of my team was level 51. The final boss was level 56. And the final boss beat my team to death. So I decided to spend a few hours to level up my team up to level 56. To my big surprise, the final boss also leveled up and he was now level 61. The first time I saw this, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was so surprised that I became bored for life. So this is the worst news. The final boss will level up to always be stronger than you. This boss is a deranged maniac. The final boss will get stronger to beat his record of beating you to death as fast as possible. In this fight, you cannot win with brute strength. You must use a good strategy against him. If you are well prepared, you have a chance of winning of 2%. If you are not prepared, your chance of winning is 0%. We can put your character in attack position, defense position, or neutral position. In attack position, you are strong, but your defense is weak. In defense position, you are weak, but your defense is strong. So if you put your character in attack position, the final boss can kill you in one hit. And I'm not joking. The first time I beat Eugene, I said to myself that this was the most difficult RPG final boss that I fought in my life. At that moment, I declared Eugene as the hardest RPG final boss in history. He was more difficult than most of the secret final boss in other RPG games. I have proved that the final boss is the hardest final boss in RPG history to show you that I'm not saying random things. Like you can see in the forums that I'm showing you, a lot of players were never able to beat the game because the final boss was unbeatable. This was a hopeless situation. Furthermore, some players asked for divine intervention to help to beat the final boss. In one of the strategy guides, the author recommended to be at level 95 to have a chance to beat the final boss. And the author even prayed to God to ask Jesus to save him from the pit of hell that was the battle against the final boss. The author even uses Bible quote to give players hope. Like I said, this final boss is extremely difficult. Unless you fought against him, you cannot understand how hard he is. Now I must share you an important piece of information. I'm talking about the Sega Dreamcast version of the game Evolution. Evolution was ported on both Neo Geo Pocket Color and Nintendo GameCube. Eugene was weakened to the point that it became possible to beat him in the Neo Geo Pocket and the GameCube version. When I beat the final boss for the first time, it was a victory that I was very satisfied. If Evolution was a modern game on PlayStation 5, we would have had a platinum trophy just for beating him alone. For everyone who was able to beat the final boss, I'm applauding you by the authority of my mustache to celebrate your huge accomplishment of defeating the hardest RPG final boss in history. You all deserve a gold medal. You all deserve to have your face engraved in the mountain, and you all deserve to be in the Hall of Fame of WWE. In my case, I deserve to have my face in this painting. I deserve it because I beat the final boss of Evolution. If you think that I deserve to be in this picture, subscribe to my channel. Bye everyone, I love you all because of my mustache. See you next time.